Next match on court, and it is the reigning Olympic champion, the number 2 seed, Lin Dan, who has been in the final of the All England Championships for the last 5 years. He's up against another Dane, the number 6 seed, Joachim Persson. So the battle of the left-handers. Lin Dan, 25 years of age, born in Fujian in China, 1m78, 5'10". His opponent, also 25 years of age, so he'll turn 26 later on this month. The taller of the two men, the Dane, 1m84, over 6 foot and about half an inch, I think. World ranking of 6, seeded 6, silver medalist at the European Championships last year, lost out, of course, to Kenneth Jonassen. So Lin Dan making his first appearance of 2009. Last year, the Olympic champion only played 8 tournaments. He reached 7 finals, winning 4 of them. Well, very, very impressive indeed. And I have to say that in yesterday's second round encounter against Bao Chunlai, his teammate, the silver medalist from the 2006 World Championships, of course, he was the player that beat Bao Chunlai in those World Championship finals and absolutely disposed of him, 21-14, 21-13. For Joachim Persson, well, he's had some tough opponents. He had to play Chan Yan Kit of Hong Kong in the first round, 2 straight games there. And then his teammate, Jan Jorgensen. And of course, it's always difficult playing against somebody from your own country. Pressure, of course, on Persson to perform. And indeed he did, 21-15, 21-18 in 39 minutes. Last year, Joachim Persson, 17 tournaments, individual tournaments, and I guess he played some team competitions as well. Very heavy program. And as far as the Dane was concerned, that quite a contrast to the 8 tournaments only from Lin Dan. Lin Dan, winner of 33 career titles. Very impressive record indeed. For Persson, well, he won the Bulgarian Open last year. A couple of finals as well, European and Danish. Well, both left-handers, both 25 years of age, but what a contrast in their records, career records. Lin Dan, 33 career titles.
Lin Dan, China.
Including, of course, 3 All England titles. He's been in the final for the last 5 years. He is the reigning Olympic champion. And against the number 6 seed, silver medalist from last year's European Championships.
Joachim Persson to serve. Level play.
So the Dane at the far side of the court, with the white shirt. This the 3rd time that these 2 players have met each other in individual competition, and interestingly, both those occasions were at the Japan Open, 2006 and 2007. And both those occasions being won by Lin Dan. Now, I have to say, Paul-Eric, I've watched Persson quite a lot over this last year. And when he's not expected to win, when there's no pressure on him, he plays very well indeed. But I do think sometimes the big occasion gets to him. I'm thinking, of course, Recently, 3 weeks ago, European Team Championships, he was expected to win the singles encounter against England's Andrew Smith in the final of their team competition. And he went down in 2 straight games. And, you know, when you look at their rankings and their achievements in world terms, he really should have won that match. Andrew Smith played exceptionally well. I don't want to take anything away from Smith, but I thought the occasion got to Joachim Pearson.
Well, I definitely agree about that. I was sitting back home and watching my computer, could see the live scoring, and hopefully that Denmark would have a chance to win also the men's singles in that team event. But unfortunately for Joachim Pearson, he was defeated by a very well-played Andrew Smith. I think he was really showing a very good standards in that game, and that actually made Joachim Pearson drop. So at the Danish Nationals, he also failed. So he has been really trying to dig deep in order to come back, and hopefully he will show that today, because he's really been having a kind of decrease in the form. So hopefully he will do something good now.
As of course his world ranking shot up last year. Career high now of number 6 in the world. But I remember also, of course, the Japan Open last year, where he reached his first ever Super Series semi-final. Big occasion for him, and he lost out to Lee Chong-wei, the current world number 1. 21-6, 21-4. The entire match, including the intervals, took only 20 minutes. I mean, he looked so... I felt so sorry for him. He was so desperately nervous. So, of course, I hope he's learned from that. There's no pressure on him. He's not expected to win this match here today. And hopefully he can put up a really good show. But, of course, overwhelming favourite is Lin Dan.
It is Lin Dan, and definitely you will see Lin Dan be on top of his game. But I also believe that Joachim occasionally will show that he's actually capable of bringing up the pace in the game, that he can follow Lin Dan quite often in this game, but then maybe make some mistakes, of course, because he's not used to that pace. Lin Dan is really playing at a high pace. Nobody is actually capable, except maybe from one person, Lee Chong-wei. He's capable of following him, but Lin Dan, the way he's playing with his aggressive style, the speedness, he is the world number 1, definitely. Joachim, number 6. The speed is good, but he makes too many mistakes in the game.
You talk about the speed of Lin Dan. I have to say that Olympic final in Beijing against Lee Chong-wei, I don't think I've ever seen a badminton player move so quickly on court. It was a phenomenal performance. And he looks to be on cruise control at the moment. Already 8-2. Just 8 tournaments last year. Lin Dan, one of those 8 tournaments, 7 finals. I think you're right, Paul-Erik. I think really he is the best player in the world, even though he may not be ranked number 1 at the moment. With the Dane at the moment.
9. It seems so easy. The way Lin Dan is playing, he's got so much power, and then his eye of the game, it seems as if he's on top all the time. He's not leaving Joachim a chance, a moment in the game for him to be on top. No, Lin Dan is cruising this men's singles quarterfinal.
Goodness. Well, just an extraordinary drop shot. Outright winner.
Service over. 3-10.
The Dane needs to get a good run of points right now just to give himself the confidence, play himself into the match. Because at the moment he's way off the pace.
Yeah, he cannot follow the pace, and that is what I see kind of a bit of a concern. Because if Joachim is not capable of following the speed, he will not be able to do anything against Lin Dan. It's very important to Joachim that the speed is there.
Oh, just missed it. You know, the extraordinary thing to me, when we talk about the speed of Lin Dan, and yet in between hitting shots, he seems to walk back to his base position. He seems to have so much time. He never seems to be rushing, really. And here he is already, 11-4, mid-game interval. 7 minutes of play. Now, coach there. Was that?
That was Shah.
Yeah. Charles Ranzert, of course, he won the World Championship here in 2003. Beat Wang Chunhan in the final, I think, if I remember correctly.
He did.
Court 2, 20 seconds. Court 2, 20 seconds.
But you see the thing with Lin Dan, you are right about his walking. It seems as if he's walking because he's got a lot of time. And also because when he plays the shot, the opponent doesn't know where it comes. So therefore, it is so difficult for the opponent. And therefore, it also seems as if the opponent is very slow on the court. But because there's so many variations Lin Dan can do, and his accuracy he's using, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, that was a perfect example of what you've just explained.
13-2.
Joachim Persson going back to the base position. Look, he moved the wrong direction before he then had to come forward. And same again there. Perfect example. You can't guess, you can't anticipate. That's a little topspin trick shot in an All-England quarter-final. Look at this. Comes over the shuttle. Here it comes. Double action. And plumb onto the back line. And just a little smile from Charles Ranzert.
2.
11-point advantage.
Service over. 5-15.
Unbelievable once again. You know, I can remember watching him at the Beijing Olympics, and all I was doing was focusing on his overhead shots, Lin Dan, and trying to work out and see if there was a telltale sign of which way he was going to hit the shuttle, whether it was going cross court and straight down the line. I can't figure it. I can't see it, even when I'm sitting off court, and that's all I'm looking for. So deceptive. Same overhead action, regardless of whether he's hitting cross or straight.
And you know, being in that position, And being able to do that, of course, that makes it so difficult for the opponent to do anything. So, in order to be a very good badminton player, that's the way of playing, I would say. If you can produce that type of style where you cannot anticipate what you are doing, then you're a world-class player.
Yeah. And the crowd applauding because they would like to see more of a contest.
6-18. Waiting. 7-18.
That's very good judgment. And this is important for the day. I know it's highly improbable he's going to win this game, but he's got to settle himself into this match before the start of the second game. So the more points he can win now, lost cause basically, but you've got to get yourself into the match, and so that you're ready to start and believing from the start of that second game.
That is very important, and that gives maybe Joachim a small belief that, well, it's not that bad. If he has lost with 21-6, it would have been difficult for him to see any positive things in the second set. Now gaining a few points, not being that far from Lin Dan, even though I know this is far, I must admit, but yet again he's closing in, getting a point here and there, and all of a sudden he brings up his game. I mean, that is very important for Joachim, that he's not just letting Lin Dan play, but he also get himself into the game.
Perhaps guilty of being a little bit casual on defence there, Lin Dan. And of course, desperately difficult nowadays with this new scoring system to actually come back from these huge deficits.
19.
The old scoring system only played to 15 points, but you could only score a point when you were serving. And I certainly remember you playing against Alan Budi Kusuma. Was it in the Singapore Open? You were about 11-2 down in the third game, something like that. You came back and won it.
Yeah, that's right. You know, that was the old score, that
20.
You had a good possibility, even though you were 12. Very far behind.
So match point, sorry, game points now for Lin Dan. He's landed on the line.
13.
In fact, inside the line. Gave up on that last rally. Joachim Persson.
First game won by Lin Dan, 21-13.
21-13 confirms the umpire. The margin for that opening game, just 16 minutes.
不自觉的就看他，你会发现他跟那种紧凑的，好吧？然后就是你的注意，这个速度，不小心再次。
Total dominance really at the front of the court.
All in, altså virkelig trykke hårdt eller gode tæt net, og så slå på det. For round ahead kan jeg godt tænke mig lige stik eller lige smash eller krydsclear tilbage. Ikke før du kan komme rigtig højt på den. Men det vigtige det er, at vi nu viser her fra starten af, at vi vil det.
Jeg ved ikke, om jeg skal hamre igennem, eller om jeg skal tage lidt af farten af.
Det bestemmer, hvad du kommer an på, hvilken position du ligger i, synes jeg. Ja. Men en gang imellem synes jeg altså godt, du kan prøve, hvis du føler en god position, og så smadre til.
Ja, men jeg ved ikke, i servesituationen, det kan godt være, at jeg prøver en gang imellem bare at køre den ned.
Det er også fint, det er vi helt enige om, men hvad det beslutter dig for, ikke? Ja. Men vi kan sagtens prøve også, og hvis det ikke føles, det gør, så gå all in bare.
Well, up to 18-5 in that opening game, Lin Dan was just in a class above his opponent. And then, to be honest, seemed to lose his focus a little bit, but certainly that will have helped Joachim Pearson with his confidence and belief. But the problem is, the start of this second game, we know that Lin Dan can up the pace even more. And I suspect that he will refocus himself, get a comfortable lead, and then just enjoy the rest of the quarter-final.
It certainly looks like that. I mean, the first set he was cruising and taking it a bit easy at the end because he was still that far ahead, so there wasn't any problems. And now again, he's in control, building up the pace now, get the gap. So Joachim maybe is not believing at all, and then I'm sure he will then cruise slowly into the semifinals.
Yeah. How do you rate Lin Dan as far as the great Chinese players are concerned? When you think back to Han Yan, Yang Yang, Zhao Jinhua, you know, is he? Incidentally, if you put Lin Dan in that bracket, 3 of those 4 players I've mentioned are all left-handers, and you happen to be a left-hander as well. But, you know, how do you compare him to those others? Do you think he's taken men's singles to a new level?
I mean, to be honest, it's of course difficult to compare, but if we actually look into the standards of each player, definitely Lin Dan has put up to another level.
Yep.
He is #1, and he's really showed that the badminton is the way he's playing is art, I would say.
Yeah.
And he is the best comparing to Yang Yang, who was twice world champion, to Zhao Jinhua, who when he came through winning the All England, everybody said, well, that was a phenomenal, talented player. And I would say those 3 guys from China is, in my memory, kind of outstanding players in badminton. And then nominating between those 3 will be Lin Dan.
Yeah.
Han Yan winning world championships, but he was not as gifted as Yang Yang and Zhao and Lin Dan was.
6-1.
Well, I have to concur with you, really. Certainly after I watched that Olympic final, I was privileged enough to be there in Beijing, and I don't think I've ever seen a performance like that, you know. And I'm watching here now, race to this 6-1 lead. He seems to have this aura about him as well. He's a tremendous personality, huge star back in China, and he just oozes confidence with every shuttle he hits, every rally he plays. And you're right, it's art. It's a joy to watch.
8-1.
I'm sure it's not a joy for Joachim Pearson right now.
Definitely not. He's really struggling.
Will the Malaysian team manager please come to the referees table?
Come on! earth did he get the first two back?
It was incredible. I mean, the way Lindan is playing, if I was Joachim, I would just try to enjoy it, because he's really up to something that he is not able to conquer. Just get the best out of it, and he did it by this rally, really a good one, and then enjoy that rally.
There's something else when we could see Lindan sitting on the floor there, taking a bit of a breather from the defensive dives. I think he's got strapping on his left leg, whether he's got a hamstring problem. You see that? If he's got a slight injury and he's playing this well, how much better can this man get? Oh, look at that. You were talking in the opening game about the accuracy. It really is astonishing. Perfection.
That is perfection. That is such a great shot.
10-2.
He's going wide. And even when Lindan is forced to turn and play the high backhand, what for most players would be a vulnerable position, Lindan seems to be able to play a perfect response.
Jeg kan godt tænke mig, at du kan prøve at gøre
Yeah, look at the body language, frustration.
Hvis du kan i hvert fald, ikke? Så mener jeg stadigvæk,
An awful lot of the winning shots from Lindan going towards the Danes' backhand side.
bare for at du så kan få tester på en eller anden måde her. Lige nu, den spiller det lidt for meget, så han skal gå ind, så kan vi lige godt lave et hop.
Court 2, 20 seconds. Court 2, 20 seconds.
Så midt i benene, sidste ben der.
Did you catch any of that?
11-2. Play.
Well, what Ken was saying to Joachim, you need to do some rallies where you put pressure on Lindan, and then Joachim said, well, I've tried and it seems that it's not working. But when you clear, sometimes put a bit more speed in your clears so that you are pushing Lindan to the back line. Then you maybe have a small opportunity. Still try to search for the small areas where you have an opportunity. I know it's difficult. Yes, it's really difficult, and I really find it almost impossible to play him. That was actually what Joachim was saying. So he tries to enjoy it, but he really hasn't got anything to come up with that will hurt Lindan.
No. Not many players do, to be honest. So outstanding as the Olympic champion. 3 times champion here in 2004, 2006 and 2007. Finalist for the last 5 years.
3 from China,
15-2.
Xi Jingfang, and her opponent, also from China, Wang Yaihan.
Showstopper.
The umpire
3-15.
for this match is Ian Steer, and the service judge, Wolfgang Jung.
4-15.
That's a lovely angle.
Showstopper. 16-4. Four.
Call of come on from Pearson, urging himself to keep fighting on. No, pushed it wide. How on earth do you pull
18,
Lin Dan out of
4.
position? I was talking earlier in the women's singles about singles tactics. You try and outmaneuver your opponent, but quite frankly, it doesn't seem possible with Lin Dan. Most of the time he's reading what's happening, he's there, ready and waiting.
19-4.
And now he is just 2 points away from a place in the semi-final.
Service over. 5-19.
Will the team managers of Indonesia and China please report to the referee?
Now, trying to clear cross court towards Lin Dan's forehand corner. Just look at this
20,
movement.
match point.
2
6.
tiny little steps and then a jump in the air, and 14 match points.
Game.
One will do. Just 27.5 minutes to win his quarter-final against the world number 6 ranked player. That is a sign
Won by
of
Lin Dan.
class.
21-13. 21-6.
Exceptional talent. Lin Dan has given a lesson really today in how to play men's singles. The margin, 2 straight games, 21-13, 21-6, and he's through to yet another All England semi-final. From Lin Dan, the Olympic champion in that men's singles, and as so often we've had some terrific matches here on quarterfinals day. Former world champions Kai Yun and Fu Haifeng beating the Danes Porska and Rasmussen. Of course, bitter disappointment as far as the England fans are concerned, because Jenny Woolwick and Gabby White went down to the Olympic champions in the women's doubles, and of course the reigning European champions Anthony Clark and Donna Kellogg going out to the qualifiers from Korea, Ko and Ha. Taufik Hidayat is still on course to win his first ever All-England title, but my goodness, as we've just seen, he'll be up against it with the form of Lin Dan. Tina Rasmussen, the tall Dane, well, She's wanting to defend her title. She's been in great form all of this year, having won the first 2 of the Super Series events. So that concludes our coverage for quarterfinals day. We will be back, of course, tomorrow with the semi-finals, 12:30 local time. Hope you'll join us then. But in the meantime, from all of us here in Birmingham, especially from Paul Erik Hoyer Larsen and myself, Jill Clark, until tomorrow. Bye-bye.